So one of the things that we look at when we're talking about rotator performance is we want to maintain the integrity of the unit. So what that means to you is business owners, managers, is that we want you to have a unit that has a long service life. So we tie what we call a torsion frame system into the chassis here. So all of the work that you're going to see done tonight is going to go on the subframe system and not be put on the chassis at all. So you'll notice that there won't be any deflection in the chassis as we do these lifts. And what we focus on there is to maintain that stability and that structural integrity so you have that longer service life. Okay, so we're in a setting here that the boom is set at 20 degrees of elevation. We have 41 feet of usable workspace on the boom. So earlier today, obviously we had some time here to practice this before you came in. We actually laid this out and took some measurements to actually see how much workspace we were using in order to perform some of these lifts. So as Mark brings this pickup truck around here to the side, by the time he gets the truck parallel to this mixer, you're going to have at least a 9-foot spread between the side of the mixer and the side of that pickup truck. So there's your first 9 feet. Obviously, you've got a little bit more reach because you have to get in the middle of the pickup truck. But then you have the width of the mixer. So most of these we know are 8'6" wide. And then the next distance between the side of the mixer and the edge of the outrigger that's another 7 feet. So what we're really illustrating here is not the fact that we can go around those. Some of you have applications where you're picking passenger cars up from beyond guardrails, canals, that sort of thing. This may be an application that you would use a rotator for. Not all rotators are used for doing tractor trailer X and truck X, that sort of thing. So the distance here, when we talk about the performance, this chart actually is, we have a rating on the chart on this platform is at 10,300 pounds. We ran a CAT scale ticket on this pickup truck, fully equipped with a driver in it. Right now we're lifting about 7,500 pounds. So when we get into a sales side of it, okay, what we really try to sit down with the owners and the end users is to say, what exactly do you need this truck to do? Because after all, this may not be the same size underlift, or you may not need the JFB body. We have a composite body and this co-polymer body as well. So what we try to do is steer you into different applications and what those applications are, and then let's build the truck based on what you need the truck to do. So one of the applications is when you're doing basic recovery and doing some of the vehicle handling like this, is to go with our S130 or S100 platform. The platform that's underneath this is an S100 platform. So you'll see the outriggers. If you can watch it up on the screen up above, what you'll see is the S100 platform from one pin on this side of the truck over to the opposite side. That measurement is about 191 inches, give or take a quarter inch here or there. So what does that mean to you? In the short, when we designed the system with the engineering team, which we have some of the team here as well, they'll be here the whole weekend. The discipline behind the Jerr-Dan Rotator is that when you look at the ring gear, to really maximize the performance of a rotator, you want to have an outrigger system that's on either side of that ring gear. So as you'll notice, it's a little bit different from most of the configuration you see. The discipline is that we have an outrigger that's on either side of that ring gear. It's tied into a torsion frame, so you see that massive subframe here. You'll see it on the floor as well as on the show. And then that torsion frame moves back and ties into these rear spades. So when we start making these full radius picks like this, one of the key things about having usable workspace isn't just from the edge of the outrigger. We really wanted to have an outrigger system that would open up this workspace for several reasons. One, obviously I can walk around here and I don't have to worry about stumbling over it. That's one. Two, is that I have this space where if I have to bring this casualty in close, I don't have to connect, I don't have to contend with that outrigger being in my way. One of the challenges from doing some of the recoveries is that holding the unit up as it passes through this corner. We want to have that space to be able to do that. So, nice. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let me explain the rigging system just a little bit. So when we talk about material handling from a vehicle standpoint, right, when we talk about lifting these cars, one of the things that was a challenge was having a strap that you can adjust fairly easily in order to find the center of gravity of whatever vehicle you were lifting. So the challenge that they have, I mean, obviously there's so many different passenger cars that you see out there, from the smart cars all the way to this pickup truck. The center of gravity is going to be a little bit different. So the placement of your spreader bar is going to be a little bit different. So in order to adjust that and make it a little faster to adjust, is that we have this daisy chain system that when you have to make that adjustment, it's just a matter of making a quick adjustment in each one of these sections. That way you can get that center of gravity in a shorter amount of time and have a balanced lift once you make the lift. Okay, Mark, go ahead and take the background there. Now, as Mark takes that through the arc there, what you're seeing is we have what we call our sectional spreader bar. The spreader bar that we're using here is rated at 28,000 pounds. The bar is sectional so that we can have ground level access to it in the compartment here. So as Mark takes that around the corner, once we get the mixer out of your way, you'll notice that here's a storage solution for that spreader bar. So that once the trunk is set up, you still have ground level access to get that spreader bar deployed, get it installed, and get it in use. Now, what we also tie here is, just trying to follow the lifting disciplines to maintain a good veer angle. I mean, essentially the only purpose for the spreader bar is to keep the straps out away from the side of the body. So what we've done is we've used two 10-foot slings. We used the blue loops just because they gather in the right length. The top rigging is typically what that's called. This would be your vehicle or bottom rigging. And then obviously we're using screw fin shackles in the system. So once these guys bring this, once they bring the pickup around to the opposite side, they're going to break this down, and then they'll be bringing the boot back around, and we're going to bring some good lift to the radius we have the mixer. So let me give you a little bit of information about the attachment on the wheel. So how many of the industry, everybody that's out there that's towing cars likes to go to the wheels? How many like to go to the wheels when you're towing something or picking it up? Even tying it down to a carrier? Okay? I like it. It's a lot easier. It's usually closer, right? Well, one of the things I'd like to make you aware of is that notice that when we ran these straps in, particularly on the pickup truck, there's a distance in between the side of the wheel and the brake system. So the hub was a little bit open. It's nice and easy to get that strap around there. Sometimes you'll see the strap going through one of the spokes. So on your manufacturer wheels, they're typically rated. They have a particular rating. But on the custom wheels that you would buy from another local shop, with a custom wheel, you just have to be mindful that you want to harness as much of that hub as possible so that you're spreading that load out. Okay? Just a little tip on that. So we've gone inside the hub there, fully wrapping the hub so all of that load is being put on all five of the lugs that are on that wheel. Okay, so while they get that broke down, let me talk a little bit to the light duty side. So if you were a wrecked car, what we would do is, we would load that on the wrecked carrier and take it away. But right now, what I'd like to do is show a little bit about the standard duty side of things. So I've got the director of sales, Jerr-Dan. He's got his car here that we're going to load on our dual-angle carrier. So we're going to bring Mike Van back here and just I want to talk about some of the features on our carriers. Yep, that was that. Okay. We'll get him on here in a second. Okay. When you're talking to one of our district sales managers,